you've looked up, so.
Yeah, go ahead and turn on microphone 1 if
Yep.
it's not already on.
Yep, that's what I got.
And scroll
Music
this
coming
down.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Borg family and members of South King Fire and Rescue, I want to welcome all of you here this afternoon as we've gathered together to remember and to honor the life of Dan Borg. In just a few moments, we're going to be escorting the family to the memorial emblems for a cordon of honor and being here to be seated. The honor guard's going to come.
So if anybody's in the lobby, they can do it.
A couple instructions, so you know there's going to be times when you will be asked to stand and render honors. You will hear the honor guard commander say, all uniformed personnel present arms. If you are in uniform today, you can render a slow 3-second count salute and remain in that position until you hear the commander say, order arms. If you're not in uniform today, we invite you to also participate by putting your hand over your heart and singing there. There's going to be times when the honor guard commander is going to say, honor guard, present arms. Those will be times just for the honor guard here this afternoon. Again, thank you all for being here. I know the family really appreciates this. We really appreciate the time and presence here this afternoon to be with them. Would you please now stand for the entrance of the family and memorial to the police.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's fine. It's fine where it is. I had it lined up.
No, I was just gonna, because all the people are standing in front of me. I was gonna raise them.
Oh.
See people on stage.
Do you want me to just stand by you and do that?
No, it's okay.
Down a bit more. Perfect. If you need to tap out, I got you.
Thank you.
Val.
keep your name standing for just a few more moments. In just a moment, the honor is going to come forward, and then of course the colors will lead us in pledge of allegiance. Again, thank you so much for your influence there. This time, I would like to invite Captain Sue Cross, South King Fire Rescue, to please come and deliver today's invitation.
Thank you.
I couldn't see over their heads.
Heavenly Father, I ask that you bring peace and your presence into this place, into the hearts of those here. Thank you for the impact of Dan's life, and made on so many people, both those that are here and those who need you.
Break that lobby sound up to 10 just to be safe.
Celebration. All of whom Dan was.
Thank you.
And I worked at home and how it impacted on their lives. And thank you for seeing the gracious God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Cross. I'd like to invite up now Assistant Fire Chief Dave Michaels to come forward and welcome us on behalf of South King Fire and Rescue.
Good afternoon. On behalf of South King Fire and Dan's family, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for being here to honor our friend, Dan Borg. We have family, friends, and colleagues here to celebrate and remember a man who was always enjoyable to be around, regardless of the situation. One of the things I appreciated most about Dan was that he was never afraid to tell it like it was. But at the same time, he had a unique way of delivering that message that could take the tension out of the moment, but still drive home his point. Quick story about Dan. I was fortunate enough to be hired with Dan and Roy Smith back in 1992. He attended an in-house academy. Like most academies, physical training was a daily requirement. One of those requirements for us was completing 10 pull-ups. As many of you know, Dan was not a small guy. And let's just say pull-ups were not his forte. But the requirement was there for all of us. So Roy and myself would each get on one leg, Dan would hang from the bar, almost touching the ground, and we would lift with all of our might so Dan could get his pull-ups in. I really think that the academy instructors had us do the pull-ups just so they could watch Roy and I struggle with Dan. But looking back on it, I also wonder if Dan wasn't part of that joke, because I'm not sure exactly how hard he was. But that's kind of fun Dan brought every day. You were never quite sure what you were going to get, but you always knew that Dan would do his job very well, and that somehow you were going to be fine. Again, thank you all for being here as we celebrate Dan's life, his service, and the many memories that he was given.
One of the things that we do to help us remember, celebrate, and to grieve loved ones who have passed away is we share stories and we remind ourselves of those things that bring us hope, bring us laughter. And here to do just that is Dan's good friend, fellow firefighter, former South King Fire and Rescue Operations Chief, Shane Smith.
Good afternoon. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Shane Smith. I had the privilege of working with Dan Borg at South King Fire for many years. More importantly, I had the privilege of calling him my friend. Like many of you, I knew him simply as Butch. When I think about Butch, I can't help but smile. The first thing that comes to mind is this big man with a big mustache. You didn't know him, you'd feel a little intimidated, or a lot intimidating if you were in the firefighter. But if you did know him, you knew one of the kindest men you'd ever meet. That first impression couldn't be more wrong. Behind the big frame was a man with an incredibly gentle heart. Most of you already know what Butch accomplished. You know the firefighter that he was, the pilot, the friend, the outdoorsman, the mentor for me. I don't think I need to tell you all of those things. Instead, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about my friend. One of the things I admired most about Butch was how he treated people. He was one of the finest firefighter EMTs I'd ever worked with and ever known. And it didn't matter if it was the first call of the morning or the fifth call after midnight. He never let fatigue change who he was. He treated every patient with kindness, dignity, compassion, and empathy. He understood that while it may have been another low acuity call for us, for the patient and their family, it could have been the worst day of their lives. He never forgot that. Outside of the fire service, I was lucky enough to spend a lot of time with Butch. We hunted together. We spent countless hours fishing. I had the privilege of flying with him multiple times. Some of my favorite memories aren't from emergency scenes or the firehouse. They're from sitting in a boat, spending long days in the outdoors, simply spending time with him as a friend. As I mentioned, I also had the privilege of flying with him. Watching Butch fly was truly something special. He was calm, he was confident, he was smooth, completely at home in the cockpit. Flying wasn't just something he did, it was part of who he was. But probably what I admired most was that he loved sharing what he knew, and he taught me where he lived. Whether it was teaching me about aviation, helping me fix something mechanical, sharing hunting or fishing knowledge, helping younger firefighters become better at the job. He gave freely of himself. He never made you feel like you were bothering him. He simply showed up. In fact, if I had to describe Butch in just a few words, those would probably be the words. He showed up. He showed up for his family. He showed up for his friends. He showed up for his patients. He showed up for complete strangers. They all came to blue, you know. He showed up. Now, Butch also had an incredible sense of humor. And that's one of the things that I miss the most. One story that always makes me laugh, which at the time I didn't think was too funny. Several years ago, I drove out to his place because my pickup truck needed a complete front end rebuild. And of course, we could. We spent the entire day working on that truck. And finished with driving from the down the line. And by the time we finished, I had spent a couple $1,000 on parts and which were dramatic. The truck was perfect. I spent the night, got up before daylight the next morning. I was on shift and headed towards work, which was almost a 2-hour drive. On the way to the station, pitch black dark, in the middle of nowhere, I hit the hurry bell. On one, they heard me. I completely totaled my truck. Thankfully, I wasn't hurt, but I remember standing there looking at what used to be my pickup truck, thinking about the entire day and money we just spent rebuilding that front end. Of course, since I was close to his house, I called Butch, asked him if he'd come out and pick me up. True to form, he showed up. He was also carrying knives and wanted to know how much room he had in the freezer. And that's not a joke, he was serious. I wasn't in the mood, but he wanted to go to work, go to the freezer. But that's who he was. Somehow always able to find the humor in situations where most people couldn't. And I remember another conversation we had years later after he began to experience vision issues while flying for lifetime. He was telling me about getting the aircraft safely on the ground and realizing he couldn't continue flying his ship because of his vision. And as casually as could be, he told me his first phone call was to a physician friend of his who happened to be on cancer. And I stopped him and said, wait a minute, you got something wrong with your eye. The first call was for cancer. I told him I had a friend that was a veterinarian who wanted the second opinion. For whatever reason, that hit us both just right, and it turned into one of the biggest belly laughs we ever shared. We laughed so hard that we barely finished the conversation. But that was great. The ability to laugh and be like things easy. Not long after the vision challenges came an even bigger challenge with his cancer diagnosis. Yet every time we talked, no matter what he was dealing with, he never sounded defeated. He would simply say, I'm just going to keep on moving on. It wasn't just something he said, it was how he lived. He kept showing up. He kept caring about other people. He kept making people laugh. He kept finding reasons to be grateful. And he just kept on keeping on. As I look back now, I realize that simple little phrase probably says more about what anything else that he's telling me today. It wasn't just his outlook, it was his way of life. In the months leading up to his passing, we had several conversations that I'll carry with me the rest of the A few days before he passed, we had the opportunity to say that. And I know not everybody gets that opportunity. There were no words left unsaid. He knew exactly how much I respected him. He knew exactly how much I appreciated him. He knew exactly how much I loved him as a friend. And feel sure that I mean the same. And this as we extend the green Easter's Day, it gives me some deep sleep. The truth is, I just need phone calls. And it's not really quick calls. Just hearing this perspective. I miss the fishing trips. I miss the laughs. And I suspect many of you here today that you're under the church. Your son, your brother, your uncle, your father, your grandfather, the firefighter, pilot, the hunting partner, the fishing buddy, and above all else, the friend. As difficult as today is, I also feel incredibly grateful that our paths crossed, grateful for his friendship, and grateful for everything he taught me. Grateful that I had the chance to tell him goodbye. So good. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your example. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the adventures. Thank you for the laughs. It's been a lifetime showing up for all of us what it means to serve others with humility, compassion, humor, and grace. You fought your battles the same way you lived your life. You just kept on moving on. Now my friend will keep on moving on. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane, for capturing the life lived well, life lived to the full. Dan gave 27 years of his life serving others as a firefighter at South Kane Fire and Rescue. And serving others in the capacity of a firefighter is more than just a job. It's a commitment, it's a devotion to give one's life for the sake of others. And for this reason, we want to take a moment here this afternoon to honor firefighter Dan Borg for his years of sacrificial service. It is our tradition to honor a firefighter who has died and has sacrificially served his community, for there is no greater love than this. The tradition of rendering honors is one way that firefighters mourn a loss of a comrade, a brother, a sister. And these traditions allow us to grieve. And so today, we give firefighter Dan Borg the honor that he deserves for making a tremendous difference in the lives of so many people in this community and his brothers and sisters in the fire service. The honors that will be given today are steeped in the rich tradition of the fire service. Honor flags have been flown over the station that Dan worked out of, representing his 27 years of service, and they will be presented to his family today. These flags will be a constant reminder that Dan was a true hero to his community, to his family, and that he will never be forgotten. The bell will ring 4 sets of 5 rings, officially placing firefighter Dan Borg out of service. And with that, we will honor firefighter Dan Borg for his incredible life of service. fire service of today is ever-changing. It is still steeped in over 200 years of tradition. And one such tradition is the ring of the bell. In the past, as firefighters began their tour of duty, it was the bell that signaled the beginning of that day's shift. And through the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell, which summoned these brave souls to respond to medical emergencies, fires, rescues, and much more, putting their lives on the line for the sake of their fellow citizens. And at the end of an emergency, it was the bell that signaled the completion of that call. We utilize these traditions as symbols, which reflect honor and respect on those who have given so much and have served their fellow citizens so well. So the 4 sets of 5 rings of the bell serves as the last alarm for South King Fire and Rescue firefighter Dan Borg. His service is complete, his task well done. To our brother, he is going home, but never forgotten. This afternoon, we gathered as family and friends, as brothers and sisters in the fire service to honor the life that Dan Borg lived to the full. And the words, "never forget," hold a special meaning to us and are commonly used when a firefighter dies. But those words hold no power unless we do something with them. So today, tomorrow, the next day, you have that power to let those words ring true and never lose their meaning. You can tell Dan's story, the stories that we've heard. You can answer the next 911 call, continue to do what Dan spent 27 years of his life doing, helping others and serving his community. That is the legacy of a firefighter, and that is the legacy that Dan has left for us. And that will give meaning to these 2 simple words. Let's never forget. So today, as we go from here, let us make sure to tell Dan's story. Tell the times that we've spent with him and remember him, not just as a firefighter, but also as the incredible man that we have honored here today and we just heard so much about. In just a few moments, Julie Bennett is going to come and she's going to sing Amazing Grace. South King Fire and Rescue Chaplain Kathy Booth is going to come and deliver the benediction, sharing the firefighter's prayer, followed by the retiring of the colors by the honor guard. So Julie, would you please come and sing?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious snares I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. The Lord has promised good to me. His word my hope secures. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing the praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
We invite Chaplain Kathy Booth from South Kingsbury Rescue to come and deliver the benediction for our service.
When I am called to do that, wherever flames may rage, give me the strength to save some life, whatever be its age. Help me embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an broken person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and give the best in me to guard my friend and neighbor and protect their property. And if according to your will, I must answer death's call, bless with your protecting hand my family one and all. Would you stand and join me in the benediction? The Lord bless you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord look on you with favor and give you peace.
Please remain standing. In just a moment, the honor guard is going to come and retire the colors. be seated. Well, our time of honoring and remembering Dan's life has just begun here. Immediately following the service, Dan's family and South King Fire and Rescue invite you to join them for a reception. It's going to be out the doors and to your left, and then take a right down the hallway where we can continue to share stories and remember Dan's life. A couple announcements that we need to take care of here quick is, first of all, if you parked in the water district across the street here, across the road, your vehicles have to be removed from there by 1800 or 6 p.m. By that time, parking should hopefully open up here in the Dumas Center, and you'll be able to park over here if needed. The Borg family would also like to invite everyone to join them for a toast at $1,700, which is 5 p.m. in the banquet room. And then at 5:20 p.m., Life Flight is planning a commemorative flyover, weather permitting. And so we encourage everyone to step outside at 5:20 p.m. tonight to the waterfront side of the building to observe a special tribute to Dan's life. Once again, on behalf of Dan's family, I want to say thank you for being here today to honor Dan's life. We are going to start our dismissal process, which will take us a few minutes, so please be patient with us. The honor guard will be coming to dismiss the Borg family first, and then we will dismiss the South King Fire and Rescue members, and after that we'll do a general dismissal. Will the honor guard please come forward? We now ask the South King Fire and Rescue members. There are also other family members here who are connected to the Borg family who also invite you to discuss as well. That concludes our service. We're all dismissed.
Let's, yeah, fade up to music. Sweet.
once everyone has like left, we can start to kind of like turn stuff off and close things down. We can leave the theater open and ask Carter to like come through and put the ghost light out in case they want to come back in here during the rest of the services.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I'll just get the ghost light ready and all he has to do is plug it in and turn everything off.